Welcome back to the channel, peeps. This build is free. Insane. Nuts. All the superlatives you can think of. If you've been running Legend Haunted Lost Sectors this last few days, you will probably have come across it already. This is by far the strongest available build across all three classes this season, in my opinion, capable of decimating beefy targets with 1 or 2 melee hits, high survivability in endgame activities, constant health regen, high melee ability uptime. Christ, I could just keep going. GM champions can be taken out with a couple of hits too. Its only real weakness is dealing with airborne targets, but apart from that, it's a very easy build to put together, which will turn you into a literal god. Slap that like button if you find this video informative at any stage. A dim link, as usual, will be available in the description, and if you would change anything in this build, drop a comment. Let's begin with the setup, starting with the exotics. Synthoceps, one of the strongest Titan exotics in PVE. They grant a massive 200% damage buff to melee attacks when surrounded by 3 or more combatants within 15 meters. Then paired with Tractor Cannon's weaken effect, which stacks with the Synthoceps buff, which enhances all damage dealt to combatants by another 30%, allows to decimate most yellow bars in harder content with 1 powered melee attack. However, when using a 1-2 punch shotgun, which massively increases melee damage dealt within 1.2 seconds of landing all pellets from a shotgun, the damage becomes silly. When using the Strand subclass, you can get 2 powered melee hits off before 1-2 punch wears off, dealing insane burst damage. So the combination of Synthoceps Exotic perk, Tractor Cannon's weaken effect, and 1-2 punch combine to ruin champions, bosses, you name it. This build is so strong that it can even wipe out barrier champions in Grandmaster difficulty with just 2 swipes. It's not okay. I would suggest getting a shotty in the elemental slot that can roll 1-2 punch, which will allow you to run with a Strand elemental weapon in the kinetic slot. In the clips you are seeing, I'm using Basso Ostinato, but there are other shotties that are craftable that can roll it too, for example the Ikela shotgun or the Without Remorse solar shotty. This build can also deal with all 3 champions, although unstoppable ones require a bit of ability management. Shackle grenades will deal with those, whilst Tractor Cannon can stun overloads. For barrier champions, I'm using an auto rifle of the Strand element, which helps with tangle generation, which we will cover during the fragment section. You can use Perpetualis or Ruthless Fury, both are solid options. That's the core gameplay loop and weapons. Moving on, we get to the Strand build itself. A quick reminder to like and sub if you are new to the channel, it's for the algorithm. Banner of War is an absolute must for this build. On melee or finisher kills, Banner of War activates, continuously healing you, and subsequent kills increase the duration and frequency of healing, on top of increasing melee damage. Whilst Into the Fray grants Woven Mail when destroying tangles, which can be generated by melee ability kills and other methods, which we will discuss shortly, and whilst having Woven Mail active, melee energy recharge rate is significantly increased, allowing for high melee ability uptime, ready for the next barrage of abuse. This combination allows for that very aggressive playstyle that lets you get into dense combatant encounters and decimate the big targets. For fragments, Thread of Fury, when damaging targets with tangles, grants melee energy, on top of granting Woven Mail from the aspect. Warding also grants Woven Mail on all pickup, paired with Transmutation, spawns tangles on weapon kills when Woven Mail is active, and finally, Isolation severs targets after landing rapid precision hits, reducing their damage output, very useful on bosses and champions. In terms of stats, the usual for an endgame build, high resilience, and for this build in particular, high priority on strength to get that melee regeneration going. For armor mods, Harmonic Siphon and Heavy Handed will generate orbs of power, which will feed into melee kickstart when using melee abilities, whilst also granting extra melee energy and health thanks to the invigoration and recuperation mods. Those are the important ones. A reminder that a dim link will be available in the description. In terms of artifact perks, we covered the barrier auto rifle perk. Thanatotic tangles in the 3rd column spawn tangles on Strand weapon kills, hence why I suggest running an elemental shotty. Elemental Fury will allow your super melee to deal even more damage to champions. Refreshing pickups will grant ability energy on tangle pickup. Elemental munitions spawn ammo on tangle kills, and finally, Monochromatic Maestro grants a 10% buff to damage when using combinations of Strand ability and weapon kills for 5 seconds. With this build's only weakness being its inability of dealing with airborne targets. For anything else, the build is just broken in my opinion. The burst damage it does is insane, and since discovering it, I can't run anything else on Titan. Hell, I've been farming Legend Haunted sectors with this and refuse to use the other 2 classes. That's it for this video. Please leave a like and sub if you enjoyed it, and let me know if you would make any changes to this build. Briar's Love has finally been crafted, and I will be reviewing this soon alongside the Swordbreaker shotgun, and Warlock builds need some love too. Watch this space. This was Plasma Alchemist. Your viewership is much appreciated. Until next time, see you later.
Forever, Guardian!